then I had known about the SDF because when I was back then in the university with USU and the little challenges we had, then our mind started opening about politics. Yeah. SDF was almost common in the society, so I had an idea. I wanted to join, but there was this frame about SDF that it is for the old. I'm talking back then, a decade ago, so that young people who are almost of that age bracket should maybe size with me, how I felt then and how I can feel, how I'm feeling now. So at the end of the day, somebody came to me and spoke about the MRC, but I was not concerned. I was young. Though I wanted to become a politician, but at that particular time I felt too risky to join politics. But later then, when I finally started my own venture, I think the fact that that person came to me while I was that age was one of the greatest motivation why I finally went to the MRC. I'll cut the story there to say that you might be following us tonight and you have been wondering, how do you join politics? Or you have been doing politics in WhatsApp group, or you are present on Facebook following political party, yet you don't really understand how you can be part of it. Because, Jute, it's not that young people are not concerned about politics. Most have made their debuts, but unfortunately, they have not been given the political education to pick up. Most people have made a debut in politics. They have either contacted one person because of a political program like this one, or they have attended a rally. Something must have spammed them to start a journey, but unfortunately, it wasn't harnessed.
Right.
So I want to move from that perspective to tell you that young people, the political system of this country is a regime of exclusion. They have designed that young people will stay out of the political game. That is why even the platform that exists, if it's not that it's young people who take upon themselves.
When you say they have designed, who are you making allusion to?
The CPDM, of
course. Because you are not of the CPDM. I want you to speak for your political party. You are not of the CPDM. The CRM, I know that there are young people like you in the CRM. There are young people like Alex Ngepi. Alex Ngepi has gone down to the SDF. But we have young people who are coming up. Look at the SDF. We have the young Gordon Zama, who is standing on now as the chairperson of that political party.
Remember, young people when we are talking about politics, there is what we call window dressing. What appear to be real and what is real. So all those names you are calling to me, sometimes when you want to dig deeper, you will see that they are figurehead. People are using them to portray a certain democracy that might exist. What I actually meant is that in CRM, if not of young people who are determined to bring change, by reasons that I cannot really all expatiate on now, it would have been that those same old people carry the same mentality from the CPDM educational. I don't know how they have cooked people to be like that, because some of them, unfortunately, I'm not attacking any personality of the party here. Some of them still have the same archaic methodology like those of the CPDM or the SDF.
Okay.
So it's because of the pressure from the young people. Somebody like me, I sacrificed the whole 2018. My family never saw me for about 3 months.
You were a candidate.
I was candidate in 2019 for mayorship in the Boyamo municipality. So I sacrificed everything. I sacrificed all the time. That is how I learned how to do graphic design. Yes, because I wanted to communicate something to the people. So I started looking for little quote from Professor Kamto. I put it on the flyer. Then I attached my small face there. And gradually the face was picking steam. So young people who are interested in politics, if they don't have something in themselves to communicate that zeal, I don't think there's any platform in Cameroon as of now that can give them that ready-made for them to step in and just blossom. No, it doesn't exist.
You must have to work in the new era.
It's like a gym. You must come in with a desire to cut down or to muscle up. I'm forced to use that example because I'm also a fitness coach.
Right, I know that. All right, today, just recently, I think it was yesterday, the vice chairperson of the Cameroon's People Democratic Movement, CPDM, I'm talking about, they call him, this is Jean Quete, the Secretary General of the Central Committee, Jean Quete. Yes. He was here in Boya, and he will be in Bamenda on Saturday. He's going about organizing seminars, physical meetings with people, with militants of the political party. And most often, the feedback we get is that young people are not involved. These are the same old people who come to meet themselves, re-strategize among themselves, and don't give the leverage for young people. Now, I know this is a very sensitive issue because we are looking at not just politics, but where we can locate young people's interest. You are a youth advocate. How much interest have you taken in the political arena of Cameroon? Even at the time when he's saying that in December they'll be having a convention. SDF is this weekend, 2 days from now. How much involved are young people from different strata of life in the political process of the country?
First of all, I want to start off by talking about civic participation. We need to understand that civic participation encompasses activities of people, be it the youths or the adults, in actively taking part in the community development, in things that concern their community. Okay, civic participation will definitely mean mobilizing and empowering the youth. And it goes to what my partner here said, Cyril, about educating the youth. We need to understand who the youth are, how they reason, to be able to communicate with them effectively. That is what effective communication is all about. And looking at who the youths are, we realize that there are 3 types of youths. We have the parochial youths, we have the student youths, and we have the participant youths. And with the parochial youths, we realize that these are a set of youths or a set of people who literally do not know the processes of, like, the political processes, which is what we're talking about here today. They don't know what to do and how to do it. They don't know how to go about getting probably enrolled, getting voters cards, process of elections, and things like this. So we need to first of all understand who the youths are, be able to communicate with them in such a way that they understand these processes to be able to engage themselves. Now, back to your question. You are talking about how engaged the youths are in political
process.
Yes. Let us go down to the grassroots and simple forums and ways to get these youths engaged. Because we have grown up in Africa where we know that parents lead the way. For example, I'm a Catholic. I grew up in the faith, which means that what? Literally, I got baptized without my consent, and I grew up in this faith learning things. Yeah. So we grew up in a country where we where the environment and the people around us have made us feel like we don't have a place when it comes to the politics. So a lot of youth shy away from engaging in these activities because they feel like they are going to be left out and their opinion does not count. And even if they stand up for positions, they will not win. Because we have been seeing the same faces winning now and then, which means we have this mental. It is just in the human nature to think that your efforts will not count. But now let us break down this mentality. Let us try to educate the youths by reaching out to them in ways and in the language they will understand.
Right?
Yes, reaching out. This is why I'm so happy for this educational forum here to try to encourage the youths. I'm talking out there to the youths because we all seated here are youths, and I strongly believe that we should engage ourselves in little activities. Back in the day, there was no Izakam. And we used to have these quarter meetings where we meet together as a community and we say, okay, this garbage here, these heaps of dirt here have been causing some mosquito breeding ground for the mosquito. So we look for ways to either burn them, which is not really sustainable, but at least we were able to do something as a community together. Now, these things no longer happen. A lot of youth don't even participate in, for example, community activities.
Civic, which is supposed to be their civic activities, duties towards their community, towards the environment and society.
But now, if we look at why they are shying away with the reasons I've earlier mentioned, we should look at how to sensitize them, how to empower them, how to give them that knowledge and to make them feel comfortable and understand that this country is, everybody is equal here according to our penal code, and we should understand that we should take active participation in little things. For example, I strongly want to commend the Center for Human Rights and Democracy for Africa, which they are presently giving a 6-month program for a youth mentorship, which may in different segments for public administration, military coordination, entrepreneurship, and others, which gives these youths the knowledge to understand that, okay, it reawakens their emotions, it reawakens that push, that fight to be able to engage in civic activities. Understand what the civic duties and rights are to be able to engage. Thank you.
Right. All right. We'll come back to see how we can engage with the advent of the new technology on the social media. Tebo Lucas, you're a political blogger. You've been following the processes of or the evolution. You are not a man of today. He's the man of our generation, at least. And we can be talking from the same pedestal. You've seen the evolution, at least, of political parties in the country, of politicians in the country. When in the days of Obama, I know that even Trump, from 2008, when Obama came to power, and by the time it was leaving for Trump to come, we saw the effervescence online. Those of us who are not in America, we could feel the elections from here like we're in America. That's simply because there was an engagement using new technology that could make us feel so involved. When you see the evolution of the Cameroon political scene, how much technological involvement or participation do we have?
Thank you very much, Jude. I think our political landscape, parties, the problem we have is that they are all queuing behind the CPGM. And male is a party for all men dominated, and so they're using 20th century means to still do things. CPGM did that by design. They did that because they control the state, they have the state resources, and so if they can keep that system in place, they can as well govern and control the entire population. But where our other political parties fail to match up or to catch up is that they don't control the state and don't have state resources. Right. And as a result, they are obliged, supposed to be well structured and well coordinated. Political leaders are supposed to be easily reachable. You have to reach your political leaders either through call, through SMS, through email. They don't even have an email to begin with. So you cannot reach them. When you cannot reach them, you don't feel engaged. And when you don't feel engaged, you cannot vote for them. That is why Cameroonian youths are totally disconnected from the political system. Because they are not engaged. They don't feel belong. They don't feel like their leaders are there to be accountable to them or to respond to their need when they want it. All other parties are like CPDM. The chairman of the party or the head of state is like a demigod. He's worshipped, he's honored, he's like put to sleep on the floor before he walks on them. And so you don't expect young people who have so many other things to do, not live with unemployment problems, to start struggling to find themselves attached to political parties. I think the parties have a lot to do, which they have not even started, in terms of getting people engaged on social media, in terms of aggressive information outreach, in terms of how do you become a member of a political party, in terms of online donation for okay, there's a looking. You have to be consistent, you have to be persistent, you have to be personalized, you have to personalize messages, you have to be persistent, You have to personalize your messages, and at the same time, it has to be portable. Meaning that the message should reach the individuals or the citizens using any means, whether they're on mobile phone, they're on tablet, they're on computer. You have to be persistent. So they use those 3 marketing strategies. It is not about adjusting Cameroonians on the 31st. You adjust on the 31st once in a year. That is not being consistent.
But you see, because sometimes I do receive Twitter messages from President of the Republic of Cameroon, Paul Biya. We have, I don't know, yeah, he has a Facebook page, but so it really does not, you're talking about daily or weekly updates. You can stay for 5 months and then the president, something pops up and then you get that information. Do we want to feel that we have a problem, or it's just some
computer technology or social media which incorporates parts of which comes as a result of computer? The link between technology and youth participation is that the system is designed, our system, I'm talking about the Cameroonian system, is designed in a way that discourage youth from participating politically, from deciding who becomes their leader. That is why it is deliberate that you don't get to listen to your leaders regularly. Your opinion is not heard. Nobody listens to you. You want information. There is no office. You are sure you can get that.
But we have mainstream media like this. We have mainstream media like this. Everybody listens to.
But mainstream media is just a one-way communication medium. It's one way. When you go to CRTV and listen to news, you want to give feedback. Who do you give feedback to? You don't give feedback to anybody. It's just one-way communication medium. I tell you about you. Have you visited Trump's Twitter feed before it was banned? He calls people online. Yes, you ask the question. I mean, he quarrels with people online. That is why he had a massive following. He had the highest number of followers on Twitter, 90 million followers. 90, because he was human. People could relate. People could identify with him. People could talk to him. People could insult him. He can insult them, but they can share ideas. They can have a political discussion online. Nobody does that at this time around. Nobody does that. But youth are yearning for that kind of leaders. But nobody does that. Just take, for instance, SDF, which is supposed to be one of the biggest political parties in the country.
Movement for the Defense of the Republic by Daikole Daisala, which has 2. Cameroon Party for National Reconciliation does not have. And that's a party represented in Parliament with 5 seats. Does not have a website. Meaning that if you don't go to the headquarters, wherever it is, situated in Cameroon, you cannot know anything about the party. The Union for Socialist Movement, with 2 seats in Parliament, has no online, you cannot go to that website. There's no website where you can go and find it. Now, when I search on my phone, I think with the, as far as your party is concerned, the CRM of Professor Maurice Kamto, there's, I think, the crm.org.
There's mrcparty.org.
mrcparty.org. At least you people are present online. But
is it updated?
Is
it current?
Yeah, when we look at the whole system, is it some kind of just nonchalance, or is it deliberate, or that no? Because even some of them, when they go online, when they create those things, they don't update. They don't even. It's just for the show of it. All right, but this is where every Cameroonian across the globe who has the interest of this country at heart, in Belgium, Germany, Italy, goes to find out. They cannot come to the headquarters in Yaoundé to check if or in Bafoussam to check if CRM is doing. They will have to go online. We are in a digitalized era. What is the problem with political parties in Cameroon?
I think Tebo gave us a very saddened answer there by saying it is a design.
Designed by who?
By the CPDM dictatorial regime.
It should not be the CPDM. We are talking about individual political parties that are not taking the bull by the horn. So it should not always be by the CPDM.
Mr. Didier Yankan, he said something that maybe you didn't pick up, where he said he never gave his concern about the faith he embraced from childhood till now. So he grew up being baptized. If they were to ask his opinion, I'm sure he would ask them that they should give him 24 hours. And I'm not sure the father will be ready to give that 24 hours. So we have grown out of a context. Our parents daring. That practically put aside politics, and the new technology has come and imposed a new way of doing things. Unfortunately, political knowledge are still held by the age. Gradually, they are transferring into the young people, but not at the speed of light that the internet goes with. And so I can understand your impatience or that of Depos or of Tebo about generalizing situation about updates and other. But the MRC, I can assure you, we are up to date, because it takes personal initiatives like the one I do. I have a political channel on YouTube that is monetized, and it is a source of income, meaning that alone is enough motivation for me to get up every morning and tell my wife and my children that your school fees is going to come out from here. So when I call my son, hold this camera, he doesn't argue me out, because he knows that when he's asking me, Daddy, money for breakfast, I'll say, okay, go and withdraw, take the card, go and withdraw, and this money is from YouTube. So young people just need to be told there is an economy behind social media. They already know that, but all they think is that is by getting naked, especially for the young girls. The only thing that, because I live in a neighborhood where there are a lot of young people, so most of them have buy ring lights, they are struggling on TikTok. Yes, that is what jump into it with all your body. But young people think about being clean. There is that aspect of wanting to be clean before they engage. So wanting to have the best camera before they take a video and sensitize something online, wanting to have the best design before they advocate for something, wanting to have to write a whole article without any mistake. It doesn't happen anywhere. Ask anybody who is up to something today. They started working their pieces when it was practically nonsense. Their first article was full of mistakes, but they accepted that that was the little beginning, and today they can write 1,000 words without mistake, and you are reading and enjoying. No, you must start somewhere, but start by accepting that your first article will go out with mistakes. Start by accepting that you can take I'm not doing publicity for phone. You can take those little phones that have poor images and start with. Start by accepting that you can dedicate 1 hour a day to read about a political leader that inspires you. I started by telling you that these students men have given us the picture on the wall, meaning the design is to disenfranchise us, to make us to remove complete interest. We can be talking and even people are following us, they are seated beside us, but they are not listening to what we are saying, because all what we are saying does not relate in direct need. I don't know what they are getting me. Young people, including those I have in my house,
I'm trying to understand what young people really,
because what they are busy doing.
Yes.
Thank you for that question.
Online, that they find it very difficult. But I'll come back to you. Let me I'll talk to a youth leader, because we are in an era where we find so many young people online. Their activities or everything is online. I have someone, an old man, who used to tell me that the social media is like a wide forest where you go there, you find all kinds of fruits, but you go to harvest what you want, because you can't harvest everything. There's a lot in the social media. The youth are so enveloped in the social media. How do we get them? How do we orientate young people to focus on processes that will help reshape their civic participation in community? Because there's just a lot that they are carried away on social media. What are they focusing on? And how can we shift the ideological path?
I think my peer here, Cyril, will agree with me that Lucas, pardon me, will agree with me with his IT expertise that targeting or giving out content to people, it's not only what you intend to, the message you intend to pass out, but how you pass out the message. Which means that what? You need to understand what the youth like. A lot of youths, like my brother here, right, they said, talk, they go on like the TikToks, the Instagrams, they follow reels, you know, they're just scrolling, you know, watching 10-second reels, 30 seconds, 20 seconds, and they don't understand how much time they actually spend on these apps. Okay, back to your question. I think if the contents are more targeted or are more coined to be youth friendly, for example, trying to incorporate some humor in it, you know, trying to look for real things like visuals that they can relate with. There are a lot of things that the youth follow, the youth trends. For example, like when they were going for the World Cup, there was this common phrase that everybody in Cameroon talked about then. We will take that cup.
Right.
We will take her. You understand? So these are very little things that, if people understand that, you know, youths like those type of things, they create viral videos with, just like you're talking about. You know, they go on TikTok and they're struggling to follow these trends. Why not take those trends to them? You know, why not take those ideas to those trends to the youths? Instead of, you know, just always trying to design some video that is talking about some politician and some political ideologies.
A video that's so serious.
It's so serious.
Young people are not that serious.
Exactly. You know, he's wondering what the youth are doing with their time and their data and their online presence. You just need to understand some aspect of the youth. They have that tendency of going for leisure, the leisure things that will make them laugh, things that will stick in their brains for them to have those trending conversations with their friends around. Take these ideas to the youth. And it goes to a point I recall very much reading from a book titled Finite and Infinite Games, which basically talks about, you know, a finite game is, I'll take for example like football. I made mention of football. When you look at soccer has finite rules, which means there will be a winner, there will be a loser at the end of the day.
Right.
The rules are set, there are regulations, there are referees that say, okay, if you kick the ball out of this line, the other person's position and all of that. Now let our political leaders and political parties not only look at the finite game, which is, you know, trying to pass out this message and get the voters for this election, but look at how is this message going to make the youth engage, not only in this voting process for this election, but how do they keep on engaging, and not only engaging politically, but also engaging in other spheres in their communities.
That kind of engagement that is sustainable.
Exactly.
Just beyond.
Sustainable. That is, we should look at the infinite game where there is no loser, there is no winner, where it is not actually time bound.
Right. All right.
I want to cue from what I think I do share with some of the things that they have said, and I do disagree with some of the things they have said as well. But let me start with what I disagree with. I think I disagree with the fact that with him and Cyril, I disagree with the fact that we give the impression that Cameroonian youths are not serious, which is not true. It's not true. We give the impression that Cameroonian youths are distracted with irrelevant things. That is still not true. And we give the impression that political parties have done all what they are supposed to do. It's left for the youth. They don't want to. They're on TikTok looking at naked pictures, and so that's not true. I'll tell you why that's not true. Now, since Biya took over power, all the major protests which has taken place during his stay in power has been championed by youth in this country. Whether it's 2008 due to high cost of living, the 2016 Anglophone crisis, the majority of people who took to the street to challenge the government are the youths. So we cannot sit here and just dismiss the fact that youths are not serious. The problem we have is with the political parties. People think that they can become politicians. They can just wake up from bed and become politicians overnight. Our political parties are not serious. As a matter of fact, apart from CPDM, I don't think we have a serious political party in this country. And I'm not a member of the CPDM. I'm a critic of the CPDM and all what it stands for. But that's the only party that is represented across every subdivision in this country.
Every village even.
They are well grounded in Cameroon.
But people argue that they're using state resources. Like my brother. Or
I agree. They are using state resources to reach out to every nook and cranny of this country. But that is where opposition leaders with limited resources comes in. They are supposed to use the modern media to also reach every nook and cranny of this country that they cannot reach using the resources CPJ have. But they are not using it. They have this false sense of entitlement. This arrogance of I'm an opposition leader.
So by criticizing CPDM, it makes you a hero.
Yeah, because you just say Bia is bad, Bia stay powerful long.
Don't vote for you.
Vote for you. That is not how it works.
Okay.
You should tell us why you will be better than Bia.
So you see a gap. There's a gap in political marketing. There's a gap in political awareness.
CPDM has created a very huge vacuum, which opposition party would have seized, jump on that opportunity and fill that vacuum. But unfortunately, they have taken the cue of CPDM, and you cannot beat them in their own game. They have the resources you don't have. They are planted everywhere, every village, every subdivision, every district in this country. We have CPDM. You don't have the resources to do that. But you have the means to use new media to reach out to more people than even the CPDM.
So what I'm understanding from you is that the new media has come as an opportunity where even those who do not have the resources
or limited resources,
they can reach everywhere.
They can compete on equal footing.
DJ, you made a point about using what young people like. We saw what happened with Asiwaju Tinubu in Nigeria.
Tinubu, yes.
We saw how the Nigerian youth used the social media in creating the skits you are talking about. Most of them created skits. They created what young people could relate to, and it was achievable. We are talking, this is tomorrow. Today's Thursday, Friday, Saturday. We are going to be having a young person for the SAF standing an election, and it is not trendy anywhere. A part of the flyers today, thanks to, I think, Penjo Baba, that did some flyers today, and some other people. You don't find young people enthusiastic about another young person. You were standing election in 2008, I think. 2018, sorry. 19.
Yes.
Okay. You realize that as far as the social media, where the bastion of young people is constituted, your presence was not there.
No. Contrary to that,
so what is wrong? First of all,
I had the support. I have the support of
online.
so many people online, even people that I would have never expected them to support me. People who practically mentored me when I started working back then. So today, when I go back, I type Mayor Cyril on Facebook. There are great visuals that I see.
So
there are comments I read.
Where's the gap?
For me, I don't see any problem. Yes.
You don't see
practically, young people are doing what they are supposed to do. Yes. In a country like ours, young people, because I told you, I started by saying, when you have a diarrhea, they will not tell you before you get up from bed and go and eat yourself, whether there's darkness or what. Until a young person feels that the table is empty, that is hungry, he cannot eat. Then he will look for ways. Because when I listen to Table, for example, speak, I see a politician who is not even aware of himself. And that is, unfortunately, the cankerworm that have eaten up into so many intellectuals in the country.
On what aspect?
The pointing fingers. The pointing finger.
On political parties?
Yes. It is a very dangerous activity that intellectually you borrow yourself into it, your time into it, but you don't know to who it benefit directly.
I think the idea he said was that...
No, I'm not condemning that.
Yes.
I'm not condemning that. That's why I told you that I don't have a problem with young people behaving the way they are behaving, because it is a design. I am a designer. And if I design that the background of this studio is going to look green, it will change. You can agree with me that those who are following us back home really think that this is how the way the screen is showing to them, that is how this studio is.
But it is visual.
Good.
Right.
So you must understand that young people can only pick what is being projected to them. Politics is a high level. It's not an elementary activity. That is why you see an intellectual talking and does not even realize that he's been instrumentalized. Regime cook up people. The education you went to, the time you waste in the morning that you are praying, there are so many activities that you do that you actually think that it's building up to an essence. But in fact, it is tilting all to the grace of Mr. Biya and his family. For 4 decades, my God in heaven, they have lived paradise on earth, and they are telling you that you should be telling your children that there is another paradise somewhere, right. And you are busy doing that. Why harvesting your own and building your own mansion? Then you have the gods.
So how are you working to beat? Our interest is how you are working to beat that without the resources.
It is not my responsibility.
Whose responsibility?
It is you. That's why I keep telling you that when you have diarrhea, you are not afraid of darkness. What? Ask me that. What is the meaning of that? If you don't feel the need, stay where you are. Keep joking.
Is that why
the day that data will finish, when you start asking yourself, how do I have another data to enjoy, you will figure out the right way to go about things. So young people are divided into so many categories that we cannot. To come to this studio, I had to sacrifice a lot of things because I understand that this is my own way of building a future that I might die without realizing. It's 5 years ago that I started saying that with Mayor. When I started that thing, I cannot count the number of people who insulted me. I said I cannot even wear a decent coat. Then I'm talking about Mayor. But I understand the principle of starting from nonsense to sense. And that is what I came here again to champion. Please, don't blame people for the choice they have made.
How is CRM,
yes,
as a political party, building up to challenge President Pobia's CPDM in an environment where you know that you cannot go by physical cash and resources? You have the social media that has given you the opportunity to reach out daily to thousands and thousands of persons and youths per day.
Have you ever asked yourself, how come that a party that did not go in for election is still at the top of the table every day? Have you ever asked yourself that question?
What happened?
The essence about life is that when you are running to get money, you instead lost money. You must learn in life to attract money. Change in Cameroon can only come through people who refuse to benefit from shadow. Like, you must understand that the path that we have taken is not the path that is leading to development, to emergency. So anybody who is into that path thinking that he's helping him, so you are wasting your time. 50 years, whatever effort you are putting in this regime, nothing is coming out. I'm telling you, 10 years ago, we started civil society. I've been JCI up to national vice president. We did so many of these things, but at the end of the day, I only find fulfillment when I join politics. I quit church. I run away from church with speed. I was an elder. I didn't come in a church house to chase people away. But what I'm telling is that if you don't question yourself, the reason why things exist.
So that's your own political ideology.
If you don't question yourself, the reason why things exist and the way things are, then my brother, you are fine the way you are.
All right. Yes, Tebo, you want to respond to something? DJ, I'm coming back to you very shortly.
DJ, 1 minute, please. I think that it still boils down to what I've been saying from the beginning, this false sense of entitlement. I think when you listen to Siri, you get that sense of entitlement, which I think is totally out of place as far as this topic is concerned. We are talking about how can political parties or how can institutions use social media
and technology
to enhance youth participation in politics. I expected him as a political party to outline strategies they have taken
involving young people,
engaging.
They have been to school. There's no giving
us statistics of how they have achieved from this year to this year. This is what they have achieved.
With BI in power. It's not
possible. So, but like any other political party, they believe that by just opposing Biya, it's enough to win Cameroonian voters. It does not work that way. We don't need their
vote. They should stay. Biya is ruling this country with 3 million. That means That means, have you asked yourself how many people are on pay slip of the state?
Right. Okay, before I come back to you, DJ, you wanted to say something.
We don't need everybody.
Whatever you say, let me just bring out these statistics that Elekam is declaring that by the end, by as at now, 2023, there are 225,000 Cameroonians registered on the electoral payroll on this country, newly registered, which means that if we were to add this figure to what they said in 2018, if there are no discrepancies, we'll be having approximately 3 million plus. But Facebook, at the start of 2023, Facebook Meta, which is now Meta, told us that Cameroon alone has approximately 4 million users on Facebook. And they were proposing that this is a good platform where Elekam, for instance, can use appropriately to engage voters. You know, if you make a platform, an online portal where people could register, people could vote easily, people can follow up there. Because Elekam registers political leaders. Can we also make it possible that we follow political leaders online? Can we follow political campaigns? Can you have a robust website? It will be easy for most people who are online and who are unable to. So this is an opportunity where an organizing structure like Elekam can use. Do you see an era, like many people think, that it is an era where they are hacking they are cramping on social media so that young people don't have the energy to pop out, because the bulk of young people is on social media.
Yeah. Well, I think if Cameroon, Elekam, which is the the main body that
oversees election,
exactly, if they do what they did in Nigeria back in 2018 or so, where the National Electoral Commission introduced
INEC.
Introduced the continuous voter registration, which simply is an online portal where people can actually be able to register and do the voting, and these records and statistics are taken down. Well, to address the issue that Lucas raised here about we pointing fingers at the youth and saying the youth are being lazy, that is not exactly my point. My point here is, for you to give the best, you have to be the best. For you to be a fitness coach, you have to be fit. Which means, years ago, about just 2 gyms, years ago I realized that there were really few, just a couple of gyms in Boya.
Right.
But people have turned, especially the youths, have turned to realize that exercising is a contributing factor to you being healthy, just as much as watching your weight and taking care of your diet is concerned as well. This means, what I'm trying to say here in essence is, for you to be the best, for you to give out the best, you have to be the best. And for you to address an issue that is going on in the political sector in Cameroon, you have to be engaged yourself, which means you have to empower yourself. That is why we have been talking about the education and the sensitization and empowerment of youth in this country. That is why you have been asked the question, Mr. Cyril, that how is your party making sure that the youth are being encouraged to be engaged in the political sector of this country? These are things we should be looking at on an individual perspective. Not only, just pointing fingers at this party, that party, who have done this, those people have not done that. No. What are we as individuals doing? I am looking at this from a standpoint of the youth. Years ago, I was not this engaged. I was not open to this type of conversations. I shied away from them. But now I am taking upon myself to put myself in the opportunities and avenues where I can learn, because this is a learning process for all of us, not only the viewers. And we think that, I personally think and believe that individuals, the youth to be particular, should take upon themselves the responsibility to engage in civic activities. We should not only point fingers, Mr. Lucas. We should not only point fingers.
DJ,
yes.
Statistics, what we have is that statistics are indicating that young people,
yes,
especially those in Africa, the bulk of them spend time on the following. We have online activities, we have music, videos, movies, pornography, we have comic. Okay, comic videos as well, yes, and then others follow suit. Politically, we don't even have them on the list, yes, as far as political, yes, engagement is concerned. Yes. Unlike in the West.
The reason is because youth. I want to Cameroon. I'm not in Nigeria. The reason is because Cameroonian youth are thirsty for information and political engagement.
And is it they're not having? Is it they're?
It's not available. No, it's not there.
It's available.
Where is it available?
I'm living in Cameroon. See, I run a political blog. I do run a political blog with tens of thousands of followers. And when you talk politics, Cameroonian youths are engaged. They are engaged, they give contributions, they give ideas, and they want their voices heard. The problem we have is that the youths are starved. The political parties are not engaging. You just talk about voters' registration ongoing. In a serious country with this, not serious country.
No, Elekam has actually halted. I remember Elekam stopped.
Excuse me. When Elekam launches registration,
yeah,
it is the responsibility of the parties to ensure they are militant registered. You cannot want to be president and you don't care whether you are militant registered or not.
That's right.
So how many times? Just imagine Elekam opens the window for registration, online registration, right? Say 3 months. I expect a serious party to send at least 60 SMS to their each party militant, reminding them of the need to register. Go and register.
Because
you cannot reach SMS, reach email. You must engage. Because if you don't register, you talk about 225,000. Don't be surprised. Those people registered are CPTM militants. Because they are the only ones who go to the field, get mothers from meeting houses, give them money, take them to the
even psychologically, if you are a CPT militant and CRM is sending me messages, I may be tempted to psychologically reason with you.
Of course,
there's a problem, Cyril. We cannot deny it that. Our political parties are not fully engaged. Now, assuming this is 2025 coming, 2023 is running out, 2024 will be fireworks. We are now envisaging an era where we will not limit political parties to old men coming for political rallies and all that.
Like what they did.
Or for instance, yesterday, CRM should be coming with innovations in the 21st century.
Up to now, I was looking at Tebo as a civil society or a journalist, but he is gradually giving me all my full sense.
I don't
my sensitivity.
I don't militate with the CPJ.
We talk about ideas.
I don't militate with the CPJ.
This is what I want to tell you. We live with choices that we make. And if you are online, you cannot see MRC. It's not Siri that will come and force you to see MRC. That is, every incident that happened in this country, Kamto is out to make a statement about it. But if you can't see that, it is a choice. Subscription is a choice. I click to subscribe. On YouTube, I have 3 channels. You can go and see the number of people who are following me on each of the channels. So, those who subscribe to my channel, it's not because I speak good French. It's not because I have the best videos. It's not because my background or my environment is nice. These are ideas people gave me before I created my YouTube channels. They told me, Cyril, if you have to do it by your own way, it will never work. But go and check. Or should I show you my last paycheck? What am I trying to say? It is a choice from day one for an individual to either rate Cameroon as a county where politicians are doing good work online or not? If you want to compare us with an imaginary country that you have in mind, that is your cup of tea. You have making the choice. We are not yet there.
Cyril, when you click on
our
Facebook,
emancipation as far as internet is concerned, my brother, is low. Even just having access to internet, how many people can boost off 1 gigabyte per day?
Okay, we've come to
MTN, Orange, and without publicity, all these houses, these telecommunication houses that are supposed to give us affordable.
No, is it because of affordable data that we are not engaging? We've come to
I was not the one mentioned that.
But when you
the budget allocated for
opposition
party
is practically very low.
But should they allocate budget? Should you not fund for your budget?
Of course, that is, we are saying the same thing.
Because
you don't expect the government you don't expect the government to fund you to come and topple the government. It does not work anywhere in the world.
Cyril, when you check online on Facebook, if you click CRM on Facebook, I think the only thing MRC.
Yes.
Okay, why I do that?
Always come to better because he's popular than the party.
He's popular than the party. That's the problem we have.
That's the problem.
We have few. I think. Let me just give you 1 minute because we are already into another time. Where do our political parties go from here to be able to rightfully engage young people? What are in 1 minute? Where are those strategies that we should use?
I think we should go more for online campaigns, engage the youths to try to share policies and manifestos.
What means in Qatar we use influencers, even though we use influencers who are terrible.
They should use influencers, they should use the social media, they should be more active, consistent, like we rightly said. And I think you made a point talking about people, the youth being engaged, and the political parties are not giving out enough content. But we also need to understand one thing from the youth's perspective. I am a youth, and I understand what filter bubbles and echo chambers are all about. I think you can best explain as an IT expert that this talks about the algorithms of social media and technology, which means that if I constantly follow comic videos, skits, these are things the platforms will be constantly feeding me with.
Yes.
You talk about the fact that you receive constant mails. It is because you are subscribed, just like you're talking about your channels here. If I subscribe to your YouTube channels, I will constantly get notifications from your channel when you do your uploads. So it plays a great role. It plays a great role on what people as individuals actually participate in. So other means which political parties can use to engage the youth more also is by data analysis, which means that observe the youths, know what they go
they're training for,
their trends, be able to identify the type of ideas they want to see in politics. There's this. I want to make an example with the online campaign and the data analysis that the US government did back in some years ago with the Black Lives Matter. I think that is a trend that went worldwide, and I think if we are able to capitalize on data analysis, collect this minor data that looks minor but has great impact on shaping policies and being able to communicate with the youth, it will better make them engage. And of course, I made mention of online voter registration platforms. Create apps. I don't even think
you cannot talk that to the CPTM. They don't care.
What I'm talking about, it is not based on
CPTM. You are going to do then you take the road to Kumba. That's where we are. We are not going towards emergency.
Has an application that people can
follow
and get engaged with. You say no.
I think it does not.
Exactly my point.
Yes, Tebo, we are wrapping up.
Yes, I think that we have to go back to the drawing board. Our political parties have to go back to the drawing board and start from the beginning. We are not there. That's the fact.
Wait, this is Zama Gordon, for a young candidate for the SDF standing on Saturday.
Zama is not young.
Shewa is younger than Zama?
I think so.
No, I think Zama is the youngest. Okay. Now, if you were to do 30 seconds, I know that this campaign will not work, but we are not doing a campaign for him. 30 seconds you want to sell Zama online, for instance, or Shewa, or even Joshua Osi as a candidate, what exactly will you do for 30 seconds? What will you choose to do online?
His vision, his history, his contributions towards the party, and his vision for the country.
How do you sell that?
Through digital means, short messages, sponsored posts on Instagram, sponsored posts on Facebook, sponsored posts on TikTok. You talk about algorithm, we can talk about algorithm for the whole day, but that's not true. Every human being is a political being. Every human being is you have that innate political nature in you. There's nowhere so you can sit and you get a sponsored message talking about a particular issue in your quarter. This morning, afternoon, you see that. Tomorrow, you see that. I don't develop interest in it. There's no way. The problem is that when we talk, social media is not about posting a post on Facebook, nobody reads it. You have to sponsor the post. You have to do targeted audience. You have to do targeted marketing. You have to decide, okay, what I'm talking about today, what does it concern? Is it concern people of Northwest? You target those in the Northwest region. Does it concern Po in Kumba? You target Po in Kumba.
Oh, yeah.
Does it concern Po Yaounde? Target Po in Yaounde. So it's a whole structure.
Kebo, thank you very much. We have actually gone above time, but this is a running issue. We definitely have time, especially to come back on this issue, to be able to educate political parties, because we have, I think, registered ones. There are 230. The Frankish movement met it about 232.
The registered one too.
Yes. So, so there are almost 232 registered political parties in Cameroon. They are yet to understand online strategies and youth involvement. So, Yange Dije, youth advocate, thank you very much for your time tonight.
Thank you, sir.
We appreciate you for coming.
For contributing to this great conversation and discussion. And I'm really happy that the media is creating avenues and forums like this where the youth can get more engaged, because I love the fact that we are all youth here. So it is a message to the youth also that